CROWNCAST, episode 5.
What's up?
And
we're still here.
Still live. Still in our office. Still working our little buns off. How things going?
You know, pretty good. We're learning a lot about editing a podcast lately.
Mm-hmm. And how iMovie is the pinnacle of video editing.
We're taking the Mr. Beast approach, which was do a bunch of videos, try to do something a little better each time. Right. So, yeah, we started with iMovie. Mm-hmm. It was as basic as it got.
Right.
And we moved up. So, yeah.
We've since introduced an HDMI splitter 1 to 2 so that you can view the same screen I'm viewing.
Yeah, so I don't have to look this way at some weird monitor across the room. That's an upgrade.
Yep.
Now I can look at that monitor.
A little bit of a Jedi integration tools there.
We do have the cable just stretched across the room, so
right.
That can be an upgrade at some point, maybe. But
yeah. So
So
things are going well. This podcast is fun. Something different. Kind of breaks up our day a little bit.
It's been nice, yeah, to kind of not do emails for a bit. Mm-hmm. For those of you that are wondering, that's what we do a lot of. We stare at a screen all day. We work through emails.
Right. If our email goes down, we have no company.
We've talked about it.
Yeah.
What happens if something hits the power grid and network and there's no internet?
Yeah.
It would. Yeah. I mean, yeah. We've always used. I was going to say maybe we didn't do as much email at the beginning, but we've always used email quite often. Yeah. We literally just check. I mean, it's nonstop emails during the day.
Right.
And then you clear them out and you're filing them. And then you scroll back up, and there's a whole nother page of stuff again.
All day.
All day.
Manufacturer emails. Hey, check out this new product. Constantly.
Yep.
Then we get so much fraud.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
So much fraud. Tons of Chinese LED companies all day long.
Yeah.
I get calls all day. We get emails all day.
If the email is ever something random, like, hey, I want to buy 60 20,000 lumen barcode projectors.
Right.
I need them in 3 weeks. We're like, it's probably not real.
It's always like a TV. It's like, hey, I'm from
weird stuff.
I'm from the purchasing department from some company.
Blah, 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 yeah.
I need 2 Samsung SR, blah, 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 whatever. It's like,
They'll give you a model.
They'll give you a model, and then I need like 1 wireless mic.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, let me drop everything I'm doing.
Right.
Sell you TVs that we make. There's nothing in it.
Right.
There's no margins in TVs. But Best Buy is the only people that make money on TVs.
Correct.
So if we ever sell you a TV, it's out of the kindness of our own heart.
That is a pure luxury item that we're just doing for you. So
yeah, we talk about that a lot too, because we install TVs all the time. And you think it's kind of an easy thing. And compared to like flying a large line array, it's different. It takes a different set of skills. But man, the amount of time we spend on working out TV locations with clients.
Yep.
We don't put anything up nowadays until we have the client right beside us saying, okay, we're going to install this right now at 60 inches above the floor.
Right.
And is this good? Is that good? And everything good?
Yeah, we do it all during the design.
Yep.
All the quantities. I want this, blah, blah, blah. And it's all on paper. So we didn't even used to do that in the early days. It was kind of just make it happen. So we've done that. But yeah, now even during construction or when we're putting them up, like we have somebody from the staff come out and look at the positions. Is this really where you want it? Is it this height? Who else has an opinion on this? That's another question I say a lot.
Right.
Because there's so many opinions on, for some reason, TV locations and heights.
And acoustic panel fabric color.
Which we don't touch.
We don't touch.
I think maybe we helped like one time on a job or something.
It's probably the last time we helped.
And it was like, we learned we're not going to pick colors. We could pick colors.
I could all day long. Yeah. I've got an eye for this stuff. But, man, there are some interior designers that do some wild things in these rooms.
Yep.
And I just don't want any part of it.
Yeah, and acoustic panels are not fun to buy. They are expensive and they're very needed, but they don't, it's not like it's a cool speaker or, an LED wall or something.
Right.
But they are a lot of money, and you don't want to buy one that's the wrong color, that doesn't fit your room.
Right.
So we sand it off.
Mm-hmm.
We let whoever has an opinion on it, we send them the swatches. You know, they can pick the color that they want. And we usually don't say anything.
Yep.
So if it comes back and it's just wrong, we try to help them get it fixed, but it's not on us.
Yeah.
Stay out of it.
You know, it's a tough thing. I mean, these interior designers, there's a place for them. And we see it on projects where they have an interior designer versus where they don't have an interior designer.
Mm-hmm.
Those simple decisions, what color or what type of fabric, because if the hue's off, if say it's like a different hue, like you got like a blue hue paint and then you've got a red hue panel, it looks off.
It looks wrong.
It looks wrong.
And you're about to cover the walls with these things.
They're everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, we can provide them, but we're not going to pick your color.
I would say at least 25% of our clients that choose an acoustical panel color and everything don't like it. Once it's up, they're like, we chose the wrong fabric, and we go.
We've learned, don't get too crazy, you know?
I want them to pick a great color that they love.
Yeah.
But only they can do that.
Right. Yeah.
If we do it and they hate it, oh boy.
Yeah, because you can't, we found out, I mean, trying to rewrap those or get a new fabric is pretty, you might as well just buy new ones.
You might as well buy new ones, yeah.
Which you don't want to do.
Yep.
Well, yeah.
We had a project a couple weeks ago where, I won't say who it was or where it was, but the super or the on-site helped pull the acoustical panels out of the back of a truck.
Oh, yeah.
And we had this whole thing coordinated. Oh, yeah. We should just talk trash about freight companies for real quick. Can we just get some stuff off our chest about freight companies?
It is majority of days, a lot of times, of constant phone calls, emails, any type of correspondence we can possibly do with these companies so that we can coordinate deliveries on time and in the right place. Because it's not like, you know, a couple boxes are coming in. It'll be pallets of stuff.
Huge boxes.
So there's, you know, that's one thing. There's big shipments coming in. So what do you have to get them off the truck. Then some freight companies won't take them inside for you. They just drop them in the parking lot.
Well, first off, they show up whenever they want.
Yeah, the timing thing is massive because we're not on site all the time at all these locations.
Right.
We have projects all over the place happening at the same time, and so shipments are coming in and out. We're trying to coordinate with the churches or clients to be on site to at least accept a delivery. If we have the date and the time, then that usually helps. That's another story because it usually doesn't happen at the right time. But yeah, they show up unannounced, and we get a phone call. Hey, I got 4 pallets for you. That's all they'll say. I have 4 pallets for you, and I have to be like, all right. Where are you at? What address are you?
Who
what
are you?
State are you in?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah, where's it from? What is it? And then we're like, oh, you were supposed to call us 48 hours in advance so we could set up an appointment. Oh, I'm here now. Okay, do you have a lift gate to get it off? No, I don't have a lift gate. I didn't know you don't have a fork truck on site. So,
and what's worse is when that happens and we're not hearing it from the freight company, we're hearing it from our client. Hey, we're just hanging out here and someone showed up and they have all this stuff and we're not even there right now. We have to leave. And
it's like, or it's raining or we have no place to put it.
Yeah. You think these freight companies would respect their own time more? Meaning they wouldn't just show up on like when I used to do installs, kitchen appliance installs, I never just showed up at someone's house. That's a waste of my time if they're not there. You call them in the morning or you call them the day before. I mean, for an install, they have it scheduled. So I was just like, hey, I'll be there around 1 p.m. And oh yeah, we'll be there. These guys, they'll put thousands of pounds of stuff on the back of their truck, drive who knows from where, however many hours, and show up unannounced and assume that there's going to be a whole crew of people cheering them as they back up and come on, bring us our stuff. Yay!
With forklifts on site and everything.
Absolutely,
like
crazy.
Yeah, it's a nightmare for us constantly.
And on every single purchase order we send, it says
in big red letters,
lift gate required.
Right.
Charge us. You know, happily charge us for a lift gate. Give us a freaking truck with a lift gate.
Right. Delivery appointment required.
Delivery appointment required.
Must call 24 hours in advance. All these things.
Yeah.
But it never.
Oh, don't have a lift gate. Well, that's ridiculous.
75% of the time, it doesn't happen.
Well, I'll help you take it down if you give me an extra $50.
Right.
Bro.
Break down all the pallets and unload everything by hand, box by box. Like we've done that.
Yep.
Because of these situations.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of coordination there.
Yeah.
You know, obviously all this stuff has to go somewhere when it's there.
Right.
Like, do they have room in the building? Are they ready for it? Can they take it somewhere and stack 6 pallets? Like, most of the time, no. So all this is planned ahead of time. But then, yeah, the freight companies always throw a wrench in the situation.
So back to that little story. So a couple weeks ago, first off, we just hear half the panels are destroyed. Half the acoustical panels that just got delivered on site are destroyed.
Right.
I'm like, what? What happened? And then right away, what do we think? We better have proof of when it happened,
right.
That it didn't just happen from one of our guys,
right.
Or that it didn't happen like from someone on site and just walk away. You never
right.
know. Or it's, coming off the truck. Was it destroyed in the truck? Like, right. These things are expensive, and they take acoustical panels are what, like typically 60 days out.
Yeah, a couple months.
Built to order.
Yeah, it's all custom. So
custom stuff. And so this one, right away, we're like, oh my goodness, what happened? Where's it broken? How's it all this stuff? They're like, oh, we think the super broke it. We're like, are you sure? Can you find out? We need to make sure.
Yeah. And
I guess this guy, the freight company showed up unannounced, like normal.
In the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night.
They parked in the parking lot, we found out.
Oh, really?
And slept there, yeah.
So they were really early.
Yeah.
And a day early. And unannounced.
Right.
So then our guys weren't on site yet.
The whole plan goes out the window. We had it all planned out and ready.
Perfect plan. Perfect plan, ready to be executed until some freight company dude's like, I've got a different idea. I'm going to sleep in that parking lot a day early and I'm going to show up and get rid of it.
Yep.
Well, hopefully he learned a lesson because the super gets a lull.
Yep.
Drives up, puts it in, picks up the massive pallet, starts bringing it out. And I guess, I don't know, I can imagine that people are like, hey, dude, slow down a bit. Hey, let me help you out here. Hey. Well, I don't think any of that happened. And he comes out and pulls out sideways and takes out half of the truck, half of the box on the truck, just rips it out, rips it apart, destroys almost all the panels that he was pulling out.
That we've waited 2 months to get.
Yeah. And we're like installing it right there and then.
Right.
Like that day. Like the whole crew was there to do it that day.
Yep.
That's just a little nightmare story. Welcome to the life of an integrator.
I mean, that's one delivery on one job. Right. It never ends.
Yeah, I'm like dead to it now. It's
it
like,
never ends.
Oh, freight companies there unannounced without a lift gate. Look at my hand.
Yep.
Whatever.
Of course they are.
Of course they are. I was expecting this.
It's normal.
The harder you coordinate, the harder they fail you.
It's so annoying if it tends to happen to the same client over and over. Yeah,
they start getting angry at us, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, dude. Like, we tell them so many times. There's some companies that they choose freight companies, some of which are worse than others.
It's all a bidding thing.
I could think of a couple companies right now that it seems to happen to all the time, and I could call you out right now on the #1 integration podcast in the world, and it would destroy. I won't do it.
I mean, it's obvious that it's like the lowest bidder gets the job. It's not. I want a really good, strong company that's going to get it there on time and do a good job. It's just, what's the easiest, fastest, cheapest way of making it happen?
It's a race to the bottom.
It is.
It's Bidenomics.
And it sucks because it's such a huge part of what we do. I mean, everything we order comes through, probably 80% of what we order comes through freight, comes on pallets and semis. So we deal with it all the time. It's an important thing, but
I was talking to a rep yesterday, or one of the reps that were here yesterday, and he was mentioning that this company, this LED wall company, they got the same freight and shipping company that Apple uses for iPhones, and they're like the best, the absolute best. So he was saying that, like when you buy an iPhone, it shows up like 2 days later.
Right.
It comes directly from China.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, so it's not going to 10 different spots. It's coming China to us.
Right.
And so this one LED company, they figured that out too. And they're like, all right, I've had enough of dealing with the freight and all that stuff. So we're going to use this freight company. And it says it's coming from my company, but it's coming directly from China, directly to your place. So that might be enough to move on and try those out.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be such a crazy world. We've heard other stories. Remember there was a whole heist that happened in LA, and it's with a couple big companies that we work with got heisted. Is that a word? Heisted? Was part of the heist.
Robbed?
Yeah. I won't say the name of the company because I don't want it's I'm sure you can find it, but it was one of the biggest heists that's happened in the last couple of years. It just happened like a year ago, and it was fake freight companies. This had to be like the mob or something. Like seriously,
at the airport.
Yeah, at a location, at like a facility where everything comes.
Oh, okay.
Like a distribution thing for semis and freight stuff.
Yeah.
They just showed up. They had fake semi trucks with logos and everything. They had fake shirts, tags. They had fake IDs, and they had gotten into the system and got all the codes, all the tracking stuff, all the information. So they knew every piece they were getting. Mary Kay was a makeup company that got hit too in this, but a bunch of ABL companies got hit. I forget how many tens of millions of dollars they stole, but it was massive.
Crazy.
And they don't even know where this stuff went. They never found it. So it got on trucks and just went out. And then because they were fake trucks with fake license plates, with fake everything, they couldn't really track them. And it just went out.
I think they were LED panels. We just got a call from that dude.
I know.
$1 million worth of inventory.
I'll tell you, it was unload. A lot of really good speakers.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I think I remember now.
And there was some microphone stuff as well. But yeah, it was pretty major. I mean, maybe that world is just nuts. They should do like a
movie.
Yeah, a movie or a documentary on that.
Integrator movie. Movie about integrators and stolen gear.
Freight companies.
There was another story recently about some dude, a couple people stole a bunch of gold. And they got it through a plane. So they somehow like figured out how to get it from one place, put it on a specific plane, and then fly it out, and then it just disappeared. I think they found the guys though, but I don't know if they got the gold back.
Gold would be hard to steal. I mean,
I know.
A semi-truck full of heavy speakers would be very hard to steal and move, I would think.
Right.
But I guess not.
I'd rather steal gold.
Yeah, I'd rather steal gold.
Crazy.
Where were we going?
I don't know. I can't remember what I was talking about. That's the.
We went off on the freight. The freight company set us off.
That's part of a podcast. You never know what you're going to talk about. But we do kind of know what we're going to talk about today. We have a project we're going to go through. We've got a project we did a couple years ago.
2021.
Yeah, 2021.
3 years.
With a client that we've done a couple jobs with, a couple interesting jobs. We've got one job that we did with them that we'll go over at another date. I want to get some more pictures and videos and stuff, but turned out really great. So we'll jump into that in a second. Like and subscribe, people. If you like this, comment, let us know what you think. If you have other things you want to see or projects you want us to go over, that'd be awesome. And let's jump into our sponsors. Our amazing sponsors that are
important,
making us rich, unbelievably giving to us. But yeah, let's jump into our sponsors.
AVL systems are great when they work and a nightmare when they don't. Well, we've come up with a solution for when they don't. CROWNCAST is our subscription-based service program where you get 24/7 support, 24/7 critical system monitoring, and a host of other goodies. If you're interested in CROWNCAST, please give us a call or contact us through our website.
And we're back. Oh my goodness, what an amazing commercial.
It's probably going to be the same one again.
Probably going to be the same one. CROWNCAST. If you need help, CROWNCAST is here to help. Okay, so what project are we going to go over today?
This is Bridgepoint Church, and it's one of their campus locations. Maybe we should chat a little bit about that. We haven't done a podcast yet on like a campus or a satellite locate, whatever they call them. Everybody calls them something different.
Right.
But in the modern church world, you know, their multi-site location churches are pretty, I don't say popular, but it's a pretty big thing these days. And there's a multitude of ways of doing them. Everyone kind of does it differently. And we've done a lot of them. So I think doing podcasts on them will probably be cool because they are all very different in the way that they're set up and how the churches maybe see their locations versus other churches see theirs a little differently, do things a little differently. But yeah, it's the modern church setup. There's typically a broadcast location or the mothership, whatever you want to call it, that does the main message, and then they broadcast out to their campuses or their locations or however they want to call them, who receive the message. And each one of these locations is like a little brother of the main location,
right?
With its own staff, with its own production, with its own everything, an operating church, but kind of overseen by the big broadcast location.
Right. You can only fit so many people in one room, and it's hard to build a room that's massive. So having smaller rooms in key locations for these churches seems to be a good thing. Yeah,
that's kind of the idea. I think there was probably a time in church history where the buildings just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and you can see some of these out west and in Texas where they seat almost like a stadium. I mean, it's tens of thousands of people.
Joel Osteen?
Yeah. And there's some out in California, and I mean, there's a few more around the country, but it seems like it was this. I mean,
hey, real quick in the comment section, tell us what you think about Joel Osteen. That'll get the conversation going.
Make this a clip and see if we can get an argument going.
He's not polarizing at all. Everyone seems to be on the same page of that one.
Hey, that's a podcast, I guess. We can
Joel Osteen? His place is ridiculous.
It's nuts.
I would love to go there and check it out. I heard, rumor has it that they have like something like 80 crowd mics. And they have 80 crowd mics, and it's some poor soul's job every week to go through and edit out all the coughs and sneezes of their room. Could you imagine?
80, yeah. I mean, a service is what, an hour and a half long, and they got to edit out 80 tracks
from different mics over here and there. And I mean, who knows how they do it, but
that's crazy.
That sounds like a legend. That doesn't even sound real.
An urban myth.
80 crowd mics too, or something stupid like that. I don't know. Maybe it's true. I mean, these people are crazy. Doesn't their whole like stage come out from the ground?
I believe so. Yeah, at least part of it.
And then like the band goes back down or something. It's like,
or am I thinking of that one TV show?
Taylor Swift style. Like Joel Osteen comes out like Taylor Swift, and
hey, I've been saying for years, megachurch should be a documentary.
Megachurch. This might be the closest we get to megachurch.
I know. Get a little bit of insight.
Start spilling the beans on all the drama we see. But
I mean, churches were building their buildings bigger because people were coming, and then it started branching out to. It's a lot easier, like you said, to find another location or another building, build another building.
Right.
Most of the time, it's what other building can we find in the area and just take it over and turn it into a church.
Yep.
So we've seen a variety of different types of buildings and different ways of doing things.
Yep.
And even mobile locations too, where they just get into a school or a movie theater or a mall or whatever.
This job we're going to go over today, it was a retro. It was a refurb of
a mobile.
Of an older church.
Oh.
Yeah. Is that what you're saying? Oh,
yeah.
Sorry. Misunderstood you.
No. Yeah. So obviously one of the easiest things to do is to like find a church building that already exists.
Right.
Because it kind of has the flow of a church building.
Right.
You know, a main room, a little lobby, some classrooms, and then you can make it work. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we do, like I said, we've done movie theaters, you know, stuff in malls, stuff in like warehouses, you know, that kind of thing. And it's just a mobile setup. So anyway, this is the modern church these days. They launch campuses all the time in locations. Sometimes these locations are big and it's a full new building, a full construction job, like a brand new building. It's going to be a permanent location. And it's almost like it's like a real church building, like we're going to do a big install versus like a mobile thing or a temporary thing in a building. Or they share a church building with another church. We've done that, and people are sharing equipment. It gets nuts.
Yeah.
So that's what this job was. Bridgepoint is a church in Tampa, and they have a main broadcast location, but they have other multiple locations that we've helped them with, and this is one of those.
Yep. So this is Bridgepoint Seminole Campus.
Yep.
Named after the fierce Native American tribes of Florida.
Yes.
I watched a documentary on Florida the other day. It was Spanish owned for up till like 100 years ago or something stupid like that. What the heck's going on here? And it's part of our flag still?
I don't think it's 100 years ago.
Well, 200 years? 300 years? 400? I don't know. But interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at some pictures of this place. I got some pics. This is before the magic. So that's our boy, David Edwards. He was the worship director there for many years. He's actually just moving on, though. So, David, we love you, dude. You're awesome. It was a lot of fun to work with you on these projects. You did a great job, dude. So, shout out, David Edwards.
Look at that arch they did with a drop ceiling.
Yeah, so this is the old church. And they acquired it or something. I don't know what the thing was. A lot of times you'll have a church like this, an older church, that they're not doing well.
Right. Kind of on their way out.
They're on their way out. The demographic of their congregation is like 1 million years old.
Right.
And so either time itself is going to wipe them out or whatever. But sometimes they'll merge. Or they'll be like, hey, we got this building and our congregation, we can't keep this thing going.
Right.
So they'll either gift it or merge or do a, they'll do a contemporary service and a traditional service.
Right.
So I don't know what happened here, but this is the old church, and now we are making it into a more contemporary happening place.
Yep.
So that's the lobby. We do some stuff in here. That's the lobby again. Here's the room. So it is I don't even know. This is a very unique shape for this room.
Yeah, I remember this. This was not an easy room to work in.
Nope. It had a raised floor. Most of the room and the acoustics were built for the organ. This is a heavy organ venue. And so that's why you see that cloud above, and I think I've got some pictures of it too.
It has that really deep inset stage.
Yep.
That goes way back.
It had a hard ceiling, and it acoustically it was kind of, it was fan out.
Yeah.
So it was rooms shaped like that at this size, that helps with projecting the actual sound from the stage.
Right.
So people talking or singing, like just physically in the room, it'll kind of be amplified. Just like going like this.
Yeah, they probably did a bunch of stuff in that church before without even PAs and stuff like that, without microphones. They probably did congregational readings and stuff from the pulpit there.
Yep.
Because of the shape of the room.
Yeah, very...
Look at the... Hang on, go back.
Yeah. Oops.
Look at the... just so that they didn't forget, look at the light numbers at the top.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look at that. Those are mailbox numbers. Those are huge numbers, just so you know which light is which from the back.
That's a quick trip to, I don't know, Home Depot to get some address numbers.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's what that was.
Usually we try to hide that stuff.
They're like, no, I want it. I want to see it from a million miles away.
They could see which light was which.
Yep. So yeah,
the floor also sloped up too. Not only the walls, fanned out, but the floor sloped up along with it.
Yep. They had the crow's nest. The almighty crow's nest is where they used to put us people, us engineers.
Always try to lock us away.
Hey, we want you to create the best mix for the people sitting on the floor. We're gonna put you, 18 feet up in the air.
Okay. In
a box. Hey, this time we're not going to glass you in at least. Oh, okay, thanks.
I was going to say, I think there's even glass there.
I don't think there was.
There wasn't.
Yeah. See a little hole there? That little hole there was for the projector.
Oh, crazy.
Sometimes, at these older churches, you see some pretty, I don't know, like MacGyver level engineering.
Man, we see a lot of it too, coming into buildings like this.
Right.
And taking stuff out.
Yep.
We see all the MacGyver.
So... That's the room. That's the stage. See that sloped ceiling? It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, it slopes down really hard to the back.
Yeah.
And you had those wings off to the side.
Yeah.
And those big pillars out on the front that were like really blocking off those sides.
Right.
Not to mention a stone back wall.
Right. Let's add some texture there. Let's get some granite on that puppy. I was watching a video of John Lautner Church. John Lautner designed a church, his own church. I'm not sure where it was. I think it's probably in California. And he did a ton of that stone stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of these projects were looking back at like some of those old school Lautner things.
Look at those lights, man.
This is okay. So this is you want to know how you get your sound from your organ?
There you go.
There it is. Yay! Look at those pipes. I mean those speakers, and that's what they did.
Yep.
So that's above the stage, in behind that cloud, and we did not use their organ speakers. This was like a little room side or on the back side of the auditorium. So we cut this room in half, and we made one half a production suite, and then the other half a lounge, like a green room
kind of thing.
Yep. So I've got some pictures of. That's the other side of the green room. I've got some pictures of the production suite too that we did. Okay, so that was what it looked like.
That was the before.
And we worked with the church to try and figure out a plan of making this more like Bridgepoint.
Because we didn't even say Bridgepoint is a production heavy contemporary church.
Yeah, they have a really great main campus. We didn't do it. It was before our time.
Yep.
But it's really clean. That first campus they have used to be a gym, like a LA Fitness or something like that.
Yeah.
And they retrofitted it to be a pretty cool room.
Yeah.
But we haven't done much work there. Okay, so let's take a look here. Let me see. So we got some install pics. I guess we can kind of go through some of the stuff that we did.
Yeah.
And then I've got a walkthrough that we can look at. Oh,
hey,
look at that.
Here we
go. Pallets and cases for acoustical panels. Wow, would you look at that? It's almost like we saw it coming. So that's what, this is, I bet, this picture, look at this now. I bet the freight company showed up in the middle of the night, dropped that down on the street, right in front of like the driveway into the place, and just like rolled out. I bet that's what happened.
We've had it happen, and we've had it rain on them before.
Whew.
I remember that.
Fiberglass does not like rain. So yeah, we did acoustical panels in here. So there they all are, just kind of lined up. Here's our production suite. So this was on that side room. So we did some. They had to do some construction in there. They painted. They built some walls. New power everywhere.
Looks way better than the floral print.
Yeah,
that was there before.
That's a crew putting up the panels according to our design. Here's the lobby. After it got painted, better. It looks way better. We put some screens up in the lobby so that they can view things. Yeah, so we came up with an idea. They had us. We put a new screen up, didn't we? We did.
I can't remember.
Yeah, so they had a screen in this location, a projector screen, but it wasn't the right size, and I think it was fourth. I think it was like 4:3 aspect ratio. But because this is a video campus, meaning everything for this campus, everything's live. They have a live host. They usually have a campus pastor.
Yep.
Live band. But the message is streamed over by a company. They use Resi. Shout out Resi. That gets their live speaker from their main campus to be a video speaker here.
Right.
So at some point during the service, typically at like, hey, say hi to your neighbors. That's like the secret.
Yes.
That's a secret moment code to like do things on stage, bring out podiums, like move screens around.
Else, hopefully.
Yeah. If you like, I remember watching Gateway. I was at Gateway in Texas, and their little moment like that was pretty wild because they essentially take everything off their stage. Everything's on a rolling
wheel casters or whatever.
Yep, and it all has mass connector for like DMX, for lighting, for power, and there's so they have like a team of people, like little Oompa Loompas, come out and just like bring it all. It's wild.
Huh.
So this is that little special moment. This is just showing, we had a projector in there that we were aiming, but we came up with an idea for this campus because that stage was so weird and it was sloped down. So you didn't have much, you have no height on stage.
Towards the back, it's short back there.
Right. So we came up with an idea of putting a screen in that goes up into a banner for worship. So it's above everyone on stage. And then for the message, it comes down and then you project the rest of the rest of the image on it. So this is a little bit of that. So here's our production suite after, they're programming it and everything.
Looking nice.
Yep. So pretty typical. Pretty typical.
It's a good little setup for like a mobile, not a mobile, but a location.
Yep. So it's got, 3 screens, one running graphics, output, multi-view from their ATEM. I can see their ATEM here. They're just using the program. So this is a Blackmagic ATEM video switcher, and you can use software like this. Sometimes we do touch screens, so you just click it. And there's also surfaces for it too. So we put surfaces in every once in a while. Blackmagic is like the most affordable video stuff you can imagine. It's really trendy. If it
really
works,
trendy with churches, I would say.
If it works, it works.
Sure.
If it doesn't, it's like, well, I paid almost nothing for it. So.
Right. Yeah.
And then, okay, I'm sorry, they don't use Resi. They use High Vision.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, they kept on with High Vision. So High Vision have had a couple different types of streaming. They've built hardware for it, and they've had different softwares for it.
Yeah.
And so this is their version of the Resi. So it is streaming. It can stream in real time and then buffer. So that's the huge thing. Back in our day, when we were trying to do this stuff, that didn't exist yet.
Right.
You had to have a recording deck, like a Grass Valley T2 or a Hyperdeck. And we would, from campus to campus, at the end of a service, we'd have that campus tech director be right there. And the second the service or the message is done, we click stop on the recording decks, either in, we used AJA decks too,
AJAs too, yeah.
Yep. And you'd grab that hard drive.
Literally eject a hard drive.
And you'd put it in the hand of the tech director. And they would get in their car, they would drive across town, they would put it in place just in time to do that mobile campus service.
Put it in their place, rewind or fast forward, get it queued up to where the message is about to start.
Right.
Push pause, and then get ready.
And hope that the file wasn't corrupted.
Hope that the whole thing's there.
Right, yeah. So
man, that was only, 12, 13 years ago. It's just crazy how fast this is pushed along. But
some of the solutions that are out now, like buffering is the key.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to start playing a video that's not completely, the file's not completely done yet.
Right.
In real time. So as a service is happening across town, we can just program our service to be like a minute or two behind.
A couple minute buffer.
And then you have a couple minute buffer where it's pulling in all that data and creating the video.
Right.
So this is High Vision's version. They're the only church that I know that uses High Vision. They've gone through a couple different versions of this software and how it works, and I think they like it.
Yeah, Resi kind of took over the world in that genre, especially for church stuff.
Right.
Which is, like we said, very popular these days. Most churches are doing this in some way or another.
Yep. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, so this is, we're going to show some more stuff here in a second.
It's Matt Stuff talking about lighting.
Oh, who would have thought? Hey, who let that guy talk about lighting so much? Oh, it's Matt. Yeah, this is a little bit of training going on. Matt Stuff, preaching the word of lighting.
He's got the vintage crown hat on, man.
New era.
Those are, 5950s. Those are the real deal.
Heck yeah. Yeah, let me show a couple more pictures here. So we did I'm not sure which way I want to go with this.
Yeah, you want to talk about pixel strips right now or not?
Yeah, I've got a picture of one that's pretty cool, actually. Let me see here. He just sent it to me. I can't find it. One sec.
Please stand by.
All right, found it. Oh, that ain't it. There it is. Cool.
Yeah, so this is the idea for, again, we had very limited height that we talked about, but at the same time, we had very limited space on the stage as well. Like, it wasn't a big stage, and they needed to fit a whole band up there, so we didn't have a bunch of room for trussing to do lights, and we couldn't put a light bar because the ceiling was too low, and so we ended up mounting these pixel bars. This is from Elation. They make a pixel bar, and
you have the model. What model's that?
This is the 60. So so they make 3 different sizes, which is kind of cool. You can do a 1/2 meter, you can do a meter, which is what these are, and you can do a 2 meter. So you can kind of pick and choose. You can mix and match and make different designs out of them if you want. They all connect with a 4-pin cable, so it's not DMX.
Yes, is it proprietary?
Yeah, it is,
or is it like a
for their stuff, but
XLR?
It's for theirs because it does power as well. We've tried to use, actually, that's a funny story. We tried to use some different 4-pin cables on them before and it didn't work. So
really?
There's something going on in there. But yeah, they connect with 4-pin cables. One of the limitations of these is that you can only have a certain amount of cable length. You can only have a certain amount of fixtures per cable run, but you can also only have a limited amount of cable length in general. So you want to make sure you put them generally close together so you can get enough on a driver to make sense for the money. And then what we're doing here is not sending DMX to these. We're actually sending video content to these, and they're pixel mapped using what we usually use RChaos to do that. And
yeah, I saw it in the other picture.
Yeah, you can send basically a moving background, that matches your other moving backgrounds in the room. You can send it to this, and it'll have that same kind of vibe, same kind of colors and match. But it makes a good background for the stage. They're not super bright, so they're not like blinding people in the eyes like a normal light fixture is. It's more of an eye candy type fixture to just look at and do cool stuff with.
Right. Yeah, you can see everything's painted. So we put 2 TVs on stage because there's no other way of like showing lyrics. So for the front row, so this projector screen up here, this is the banner. I think that's the old one though. I think the new one's longer. That was the banner projector. So if you're up front row, you couldn't see it. It was just too close. Right. There's no other way. I mean, it was a tough little stage to figure out. So we put like a stage left and a stage right TV just for like the front row essentially. Right. And then everyone else could see the banner.
We also did something unique with the lighting in there. Like we said, we couldn't put light bars because we couldn't get them in. So we have vertical. Yeah. We have vertical light bars you can see right on the edge of the front of the stage. Right. You can see those lights right there.
Yep. Yeah, we put a light pipe and we're able to put some lights there. We did do some front lighting with their original...
with their setup that they had, I think. The numbered setup.
Yeah.
So you can see the light bars right there on the left and right.
Mm-hmm. So kind of a wild room. Yeah. It's tough to work in, tough to figure out. Actually, this shot makes it look real busy. I don't know what's up with this. The lights are on 100%.
The lights are on. You're seeing everything. You're seeing things you're not supposed to see right now. Right.
And they just painted those rocks on the back.
Oh, crazy.
Cool. And we can see the PA here. Let's go over the PA. I want to show some stuff. So this room was tough. We were obviously not going to use the organ speakers.
Thank goodness we didn't get asked to reuse those speakers.
And they had they had another little couple speakers in there for like their actual PA. But no way on earth we're going to use that stuff. It's just absolute crap. Yeah. So we had launched a mobile campus with them for Clearwater.
Yep.
And I'm not sure if they kept. I think they moved it around or something. I can't remember what happened. Yeah. But for Clearwater, for that room, we built a whole mobile system for them. Mm-hmm. And then we spec'd some speakers from L Acoustics.
Yep.
That hit their budget, and it worked in that room really well. And then they wanted to save the money and use them in this room. So they pulled them over and used them over here. And so let's go over them real quick. So these are some cool speakers. These are the L Acoustics Sivas. Look at those puppies. What the heck are those? What is that?
Look at that. Yeah. I remember seeing these for the first time thinking, that looks stupid. That was my initial thought. But very surprising for what they sound like. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, so this is the Siva top and then like the Siva low, or the Siva and the Siva low.
Right.
So the Siva is that piece right there.
Yeah,
and
that
that's
top piece.
It's like kind of like a column array, or I don't know what you want to call it, but there's a bunch of speakers in there. Do you have the stats on that?
Yeah, and it's small too. So, or it's skinny, I should say. It's tall and skinny. But yeah, the speakers, they have 6 5-inch speakers in there, and then 3 1.75-inch speakers. So small guys. They claim it can get down to 87 hertz with these. So 87 all the way up to 20K. That's their spectrum here.
Is that with the low, or is that just the top?
That's just the top.
Okay.
Yeah. Down to 87. I don't know.
Yep.
All right. So it's really wide. It's got a 140 degree throw.
And it's true.
Horizontal.
And it's true.
Yeah. It just throws like
it's wild.
Straight wide.
Yep.
You get some control of your splay on the vertical too, which is kind of cool. But yeah, this thing's taller than you might think. I just had that up. It weighs about 50 pounds. Not the lightest thing. It's kind of chunky. But it's only 5 inches wide.
That's how you know. That's how you know it's quality, when it weighs a lot.
Yeah, I guess it does make you feel good. A heavy speaker. When you're looking at the front, it's only 5 inches wide from the front.
Right.
So pretty skinny, and it's about 60 inches tall, I think. I can't see it.
You see these a lot I've seen these a lot being used for fashion events. I think I saw it at
I remember seeing that
Yeah.
video of a fashion event.
I forget which.
And they had more than one little columns
put all over
the
place.
Yeah,
right.
It's about 50 inches tall, so a little over 4 feet tall, 5 inches wide. I guess the unique thing is it has that curvature, like you see right there with that top piece.
Right.
So that's the Siva, 137 dB. What they're claiming, so that's pretty dang loud from this thing.
I think they say that the Siva with the Siva Low has the same output as a K2.
It's a K2, yeah.
Which is one of their big puppies. I don't know.
Yeah, so
I'll take their word for it.
If you go to the Siva 2 or this Siva Low, because this kind of pairs with it, so that looks more like a traditional speaker that you're used to seeing. It's just a rectangle box.
Right.
And that's 2 12-inch speakers in it.
And that's the mids and low mids.
Yep. Gets you down to 40 hertz. So that mixed with the top,
Yep.
pretty decent for like a mobile setup.
Yep.
With those two.
It's actually kind of cool because you take this piece, the Siva, and it has just contact pins at the bottom.
Right.
And when you put it on top, it just clicks in.
Connects
in. And now all of your cabling goes to the Siva Low.
Right.
And so you're sending, it's an NL4.
Yep.
So you're sending 2 different amp channels.
Yep.
One goes to the tops, one goes to the low, and they work in tandem.
Yeah.
So they couple and work together.
Yep.
And I think the claim for these speakers, and I've kind of witnessed it in real life, is because of this column array, it sends more high frequencies at the top,
right,
than the bottom. So you get a bit of high frequency gradient from the back to the front.
Right.
This works really well anywhere you have a flat floor, because now it's direct to the back.
Right.
And I've spec'd this for another project we have coming up.
Yep.
Because it'll fit the room really well. But for their campus, for their mobile campus, we actually engineered a cool case for it.
Yeah.
Because they were in and out of this school all the time, and I can show you that if you want.
Super convenient for setting up and tearing down this PA.
Yeah.
And having like a quality sounding PA.
Right.
But being able to just throw that thing on top, it clicks in.
Yep.
You're not running tons of cables.
And then we paired it with an SB18.
So that gives you that extra
low
oomph at the bottom.
Right.
The Siva Low will give you some, but it's not going to give you that big of a punch.
They make a Siva sub as well.
Right.
And it's the same size, same cabinet as the Siva Low. It's just engineered to be lower frequencies.
Right.
But we didn't. In this scenario, it worked really well, and I'll show you here how we engineered this case and built this whole thing. But it worked really well. This box has all the rigging that worked for landing that Siva Low on top of
the sub. Yep.
Yep. So let's take a look here. So this is a design we did. So wow, look at that! It all fits in that little box. Well, kind of. So this is a case that if you were to open it, it kind of looks like that. So what you can see here is a base with casters. You have your SB18 on it. We found a way of rigging the Siva Low base plate to it. It worked out really well. And then you have kind of a 2-shell scenario here for closing it up. So you'd pop off these 2 shells. Then there's a trunk. And the trunk itself we had built with foam to house these Sivas. And then we also had some front fills. Yeah. These are the 5XTs. Yeah. Yep. And then we had some drawers put in. And then this is what it looked like. So it was like this. So it could roll around, get in place, and you ran, I forget what we did for the cabling. We may have ran one cable, like a 6-conductor cable. Probably. with like an NL2 for here and an NL4 for here, and it just got all this. So it was really simple. Just one cable, run it up, click it in the back, and you're off to the races. Yep. So that's what it looked like in our brains, in our designing brains. I'll show you what it looked like in real life, if I can find it. So boom, that's David Edwards about to put the Siva on top of the Siva Low that's on top of the SB18.
And is that bar an accessory on the back of the Siva?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's
I can't remember if we just made that or if that's an accessory with that speaker.
Yep. There's an accessory for a pipe, a speaker pole.
Yep.
That just ended up working out really well for managing the speakers.
Like a handle, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see the connections on the bottom.
Yep. So this is a SB18i, the install version, I think. Here's the case, so you can see kind of how that Siva just lands in there. Looked really good. And then the little 2 spots at the top for the 5XTs.
Yep.
It's sitting. There's the shell, and that's it closed up. So exactly like the rendering. It's almost like it's like magic. Nice. And then drawers. That's the case with the drawers in it, or the shelving. So Odyssey cases.
Yep.
Made it happen. Mario, love you, buddy. Thanks for the help. Turned out great. And let me see if I can find it. Picture of it in that room.
Yeah. So
yeah, this is the picture of it. This is their other campus. So this is Clearwater.
Yep.
But yeah, you can see it in all its glory. Turned out great.
So, like we said earlier, when churches are launching these locations, they move things around a lot as well. They might have other locations that they can pull some equipment from and make something else happen because they have an opportunity to take over a building or something and they want to just get in there quickly.
Right.
And so that's where the PA came from for this Seminole building that we've been talking about. Yep. It came from another Bridgepoint location that was using it as a mobile setup, and they ended up moving it to Seminole.
Yep. So, I threw them in Sound Vision. Sound Vision is L Acoustics guessing software.
Yeah.
They guess on what the sound is going to do in that room, across the floor. It's actually very intuitive, works really well. And so here you can see the Siva Low and SB18 and the 2 front fills and what it looks like on the floor. So I like these speakers, man. They sounded good. They did gradient, highs to the back, and it felt really good. Tuning them was pretty easy. They are very wide.
Yeah.
They're very wide, which is there's a true width there. A lot of these speaker companies, they say a certain width,
say 110,
a certain dispersion width, and I guess the sound gets out that long, but you only get like this much real sound. Right. Like when you're in the center of it, you're getting laser beam every frequency. Second you walk outside of that, it's like dull and gone.
Right.
So this is a very even dispersion horizontally, and then not even vertically. So we're sending highs in the back, sending mids, and less of it in the front. And it worked out pretty good in this room. Tuning the room was wonky. Obviously, it was tough.
Yeah.
There weren't a ton of like slapback and everything because of the shape of the room. That worked well. It was powerful. You had adequate frequency response across the room because of the width of those speakers. Front to back, it was okay in this scenario. And I liked the speakers, man. I think they sound great. I think they work well for certain applications. I don't know if I would have done this in this room. Like I wouldn't have said, "Oh, hey, look at this room. We got to put some Sivas in there." I wouldn't have done that. Right. We actually did a couple different designs for this room. Tried to see if we could hang a PA, and it ended up being just not cost effective. I mean, it's gonna be a lot.
Yeah. It's kind of rolling with the flow of the job. They were trying to get in this building, and they knew they had this PA sitting there, so then it turns into, okay, can we make it work?
Yep.
And we can make it work, and it's pretty good.
Yep. So it worked out well, and I think I had some pictures of it in the room. I think we already saw it, but let me take a look. Yeah, you can see it. You can see him there. Yep.
Yeah, so that's pretty tall from the floor up.
Right.
I mean, that top piece is, over 4 feet on its own. So you're a good 8 feet or 9 feet there. Of speakers.
It's getting over people's heads, and it's a little easier to manage than trying to get a point like a larger point source that high on a big stand. I mean, that's tall for a speaker stand. Yeah,
and it didn't take up much room. Since they're so wide, we could spread them all the way out, and it worked. It worked for the room for sure.
Okay. So then we got launch. Here we go. Let's jump into it. So this is kind of a walkthrough here. I can kind of press pause here a little bit. This is the lobby, all cleaned up, painted nice, blacked out ceiling, which is the true mark of a contemporary church.
I was going to say, it's in every conversation of every job we have. If there's a ceiling, 1, we're going to black it out, or 2, we're going to take it out. And if we take it out, then we're going to black out the rest of it that's showing above. So
Yep. So it's not a true contemporary church until you black out the ceiling. As soon as you do that, you're done. You're going to lose all your old people. You can get a bunch of young people coming. So yeah, I'm going to walk in through the production suite here real quick. Oh, this is like a mother's room over here. We did a bunch of TVs all across the whole campus. So they had the ability to send certain program feeds or from their video router, all their stuff they had in it. And they could send it to the mother's room.
Yep.
They could send it to the kids' classrooms, all over the place. So they distributed video across the whole.
Yeah, they renoed this whole building.
Renoed the whole building.
Yeah, all the classrooms and stuff. We didn't do much in there other than some TVs, but they did the whole thing.
Yep. So we're going to walk into the production suite here. Boom. I tried to pause it there. That was the only place we could put a rack.
Yeah, racks living in the production
room.
We
go. There's a rack there. The equipment rack. It never gets any love, any respect, even though our racks look really good and they're really clean. But no respect for the rack. So that is their equipment rack in the production suite. In fact, I can see a side panel for it right there. This might not be long. This is probably the first service. We're probably in there doing something. But you can see here, program, multi-view, and
there's the banner screen we talked about.
Yeah, we're going to see that in a second, how they ran with it.
There's the pixel bars.
Yep.
There's the PA.
ProPresenter. Shout out Renewed Vision for giving us the blessing of ProPresenter for all us churches. What was the other one called back in the day that people used to use? Like Worship Shout or something?
I was going to say it's Worship something.
It's either that or
it's
like
worship.
A PowerPoint.
Yeah.
PowerPoints, Worship Shout out. Or
something.
Yeah. And then ProPresenter came to our rescue, and they've come a long way, man.
They took over the world as well.
But we still deal with their updates, and boom.
Gotta wait on the updates.
Yeah. Wait on the updates, people. Never update. So yeah, you can see here, this is this was the solution for during worship. It had the banner at the top with lyrics. So that was a custom look in ProPresenter to make it look, so that you weren't like shooting images on people's face. What projector we put in here?
Ooh, it was existing. It's a Barco, so I don't know what it was.
I don't know. Was it existing?
Yep, because all we did was get him a lens.
Oh, okay. My bad. Never mind. Forget it then. The projector's dead to me if I didn't sell it to you.
It is a Barco, though.
The Barco. They had a Barco dude here.
That's why they're connected. This is the Bridgepoint is connected. They have someone at their church that has.
Does he still work for Barco?
Yeah.
We were talking about the other day.
Yeah.
Did you talk to him the other day?
I've talked to him. Yeah, I talked to him a few weeks ago for that other job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he hooked it up because we did a big Barco at
we did a big laser
downtown
Barco.
campus, and we had that custom thing, custom mount built.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We'll go over that in CROWNCAST episode 125. We'll do it.
Yeah.
If we're still alive. So here we have on the right, they have some multi-track recording. We put an Avantis in here, the good old Alan Heath Avantis. I believe we had DT 16.8s on stage. They're digital snakes. Everything Dante. Everything's networked audio, which is awesome. Then you can see here on the left, this is our Chaos. So this is playing videos. And what's it doing there, Ben?
That's just playing video going to the pixel bars.
Gotcha.
So they probably are playing the same moving background that they're playing on their projector screen from Pro Presenter, I would assume. And that's what makes it match. So gives you the same kind of colors and stuff.
Right. So what protocol do we send to those pixel bars?
So you can map it. You can use it SACN, or you can use ClingNet, or you can use ArtNet. We typically use something. We use ClingNet if we can because it's a lot easier to set up. If you haven't used it before, it finds your fixtures for you. It starts and stops at fixtures channel counts on your own. ArtNet, you got to set all that up yourself. You got to put in all the crazy universes and channel counts. It takes forever. ClingNet does it for you. So that's what our Chaos uses. And then you can trigger, like we said before, you can set up dimming channels from Vista, and you can trigger those Chaos channel strips over there from your Vista console. So you don't have to have two people working those areas.
Right. That way you get continuity across these pixel bars, and your moving background and all the color it envelops the stage, makes it look makes it look intentional, makes it look dynamic.
Yep, there's the same moving background, like we were saying. You saw that over on the Chaos one a second ago.
Yep.
So they're just using the same image. One's on the projector, one's going to the TV as well. You can see it there on the side TVs. And then it's also shooting to those pixel bars.
That's right. I think right here they had a producer position. So we have a producer in the room that is kind of watching and hearing and listening and everything. And they are kind of like the last word on what happens in the service. And so they have a producer's position here with macros for their video writer. So he can look at anything they want from that position on that monitor. You can see here we have a touch screen. So we set them up with QSYS, automated everything, turn the projector on, off, turn on. They can run a small service without any tech.
Right.
Without any...
Just from that touch screen.
Right. So they don't need to get an audio engineer. They don't have to turn anything on. They can just go up to that touch screen and whoop, whoop, and bring up a couple mics, and music, and all that fun stuff. So amazing! Wow, and all the lighting in the room look cool.
Yeah, it's a big change.
Yep. Let's see what else we got.
Look
at that. This is
packed.
Let's see, that's just there. I think they just told the crowd. Hey, we have the Crown Design Group guys here, and everyone just erupted in applause.
They're standing up, obviously. They weren't before, but they are now.
They're like, I've never seen production this amazing. Like, wow, Crown Design's here? Wow. That's what was happening there. But you can kind of see, I guess they're just kind of just about to start service.
That's
kind
pretty
of
pretty big challenge on that stage. I mean, look how many people. I remember them having a bunch of people, and they had a big drum kit. That's why everything had to be so smashed to the sides on this stage.
Yep. Yep, and that's during service.
Looks like a modern...
Oh, we praise you.
Production-driven church.
Yep. Looking good. Steve is kicking. Sounded good, looked good, everything good. Worked out well. I got some other cool pics. Looks great. Let's see what else I got. This lighting was pretty wild. This is what I call the seizure shot. That's Matt Stuff's. He loves giving people seizures.
Yep. I mean, look at the exit signs are really bugging me now that I'm seeing these pictures. There's a million of them. Look at them.
We talked about it with them.
I know.
They had to have it.
Can't get around
egress, emergency,
like their own light
safety
fixtures.
systems. Yep. But you know, when you're looking at this room from what it was to what they turned it into, and you know how we helped bring it into this era, it did feel way different when you walk in that room. It was not the same thing.
Yeah.
And it showed the value in you know, branding and creating a like environment from campus to campus.
Yep.
I know of churches that have a smell. Mm-hmm. They have a smell.
They pump in a smell.
They have a smell maker.
Yep.
That they put in their lobby and in their auditorium, and then they make sure that all their campuses have the same smell, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, because a multi-site church, if you're the church, you want people to be able to have at least somewhat of the same kind of experience, regardless of where they go. I mean, obviously the buildings are different, and some are bigger and bigger PAs and lights and stuff, but you want to have something, you know, that feels like you're at the same church.
Right.
So it's how's the room look, and we help a lot with that, with lighting and stuff like that. And how's it sound? A lot of times they want to use the same type of PA,
right?
Probably different speakers, but the same types.
Yep.
And then, yeah, you do what you can do with the building you have. I mean, obviously we saw the beginning of this building, what it looked like before,
right?
And Bridgepoint wanted it to look like what they do in the other building. So there's a lot of conversations and design stuff that goes on in between to make all that happen. And then you can't do it exact, obviously. It's a different building, but different aspects and pieces.
Yeah, you try and take the DNA. You try and put the DNA in it, make it resemble, even though it's a different floor plan, different. I mean, that auditorium is ridiculous. I mean, you'd never build that nowadays. Like, those days are gone. Right. No one's building churches like that anymore.
Right.
But yeah, it worked. You walked in there, it felt right. It felt cool. It sounded great. It looked great. Just another win.
Yeah.
I think this is what you want to hear. The future, internet. I think the future should look like this. I think that having someone at one campus, like a pastor at one campus and like a broadcast campus, I think it would be better if you had no single broadcast campus, but you had like a production truck, and the lead pastor, whoever's speaking, would show up at any random campus.
Right.
So you never knew, because a lot of people complain that they don't like watching the video, even though 5 seconds into watching the video, they forget about it.
Right. They forget it's a video.
But, you know, some people only go to a main campus because they have a live speaker. Like, they literally, that's the only reason they go there. Even if they'll pass a satellite campus on their way to a main campus, a broadcast campus, just so that they have someone in real life in that spot.
Yep. How many times have we pitched that idea?
So many times. We've done drawings, designs. We've done a bunch of stuff for it. But imagine that. Don't invest in one location infrastructure for broadcast. Put a little bit of infrastructure in every campus. Have your cameras and your switchers and your production staff be mobile. And the staff would know what campus. The staff would, hey, this week we're doing this campus out of town or whatever.
But you don't promote it.
You don't promote it. No one knows where the lead pastor is going to be speaking from,
so
or
you
whatever.
Could show up at your small campus location that you attend, and you might show up and all of a sudden there's cameras everywhere. Right. Which you never see, and then you know, oh, main pastor is going to speak live here this week. I think it's cool. It brings it. I mean, it makes the campuses feel very much a part of what's going on. Right. Maybe more a part of it instead of just getting video all the time. There's logistics involved in it, obviously. You know, you want the video to look a certain way and look good and that kind of thing. And the pastor is going to have to travel around. Maybe they're not comfortable doing that, but I think it's a really cool idea. I think it'd be a fun, kind of exciting thing for churches to try. Yeah. Like I said, we've pitched it, and we keep getting no's.
I have a bad feeling that it's all because of the green room.
I was going to say the comfort.
Pastors love their green rooms. I get it.
Yeah, they want to get in that space. They want to.
I get it.
Yeah, they want to feel confident about going out. So yeah, it would definitely be different.
Did Jesus have a green room?
He did not, and he still performed miracles.
It's true. So I think that would be the way to do it, man.
I think it'd be really cool.
So then you do smaller buildings. You do a sweet spot of like 800, an 800 room. That seems to feel really good. Yeah. Every campus that we launch of around 800 room, that if they know what they're doing, they can fill it. Yeah.
It feels full. It doesn't seem small.
Right.
But it doesn't seem massive either.
Right.
It still kind of feels homey, and it's, from a production standpoint, it's way easier to do an 800 room versus like a 2,500 room or something like that.
Right.
It's definitely on your budget as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then you could get this model that you really like, and you could plop those things around. You don't need as much property. You don't need as much parking. All the things that go into building a building.
Right.
And then it kind of looks the same too. So yeah, it really wouldn't matter what campus you went to. You'd kind of have the same experience.
Yeah.
Not big location, and then you try another one and it's a 200-seat Hershey Kiss wood building.
Right.
That just seems completely different, other than some lights and the pastor on the video.
Right.
So
my guess is, and what I guess what we've seen over the last couple of years, especially since COVID though, has been consolidation.
Yeah.
So as you know, the pandemic tried to shut everyone down.
Yep.
And so people couldn't meet. People couldn't, these campuses just kind of got thrown like, well, sorry, especially if you're meeting in a school. It was over.
Out. Yeah.
It was over. You could not get in there. They just shut everything down.
Yep.
For churches to meet, they'd have to, it was just ridiculous. Some of them were ridiculous. They had to still be 6 feet apart, because that worked. And then they had to do all this other stuff.
Right.
So what we've seen over the last couple of years is honestly a sad consolidation. We've seen these campuses get destroyed by government telling us what to do, and then also inflation and everything. They're sitting on a land or a spot in a wherever. They've retrofitted a location in a shopping area or a mall, and they've consolidated. They've sold that land, and now they all want to be in like a bigger room and just kind of all come to one place. So it's the opposite of what I want. Right. It's the opposite of what I think would be awesome, is to have just the 800 rooms everywhere.
Right.
And then move that pastor around. Even give him a freaking green room in every single building. A small little green room where he can get his act together and put it together. I don't know. When are people going to start listening to me? I don't know.
What do we know?
What do we know? We're just AVL integrators that deal with some of the fastest growing churches in America, and we see how church is done across all these different verticals. And
I just had this conversation yesterday with a church client that they're getting ready to launch in a couple of weeks, and they're all falling off a cliff. I mean, it's just everyone's on edge, and deadlines and all this. And I'm just like, we do this every week. Like what you're feeling right now is just our normal days.
Right.
So, but it is, I mean, most churches do this, once a decade when they build a new building, or if they launch campuses, maybe once or twice a year, or once every couple of years. But yeah, we do it all the time. So it's kind of our world. We see it all.
Yeah, it's interesting. I love being able to see different churches doing different things. I love picking up on little, special little things that they do that like are helpful to the community, or like cool in the service, or helpful to their congregation. And it's cool how you see some of that stuff spread. But yeah, well, this project was awesome. It was a couple years ago.
3 years.
Yeah. Everything's still working well. We didn't really get many calls after that.
I was going to say, I have an email that I just found in my digital clutter from David.
Ooh.
Yeah.
David Edwards.
It's just at the end. He says, I finally got a vacation after the launch. He said, well, you guys did it again. Absolutely killed it. Now, because we had done a couple projects with them before. So, absolutely killed it. Thankful that you guys took the project on. You do such great work. Everyone loves how things turned out and the transformation that took place in the building. So far, from what I've been told, things on Sunday have gone very well. Thank you for sending all these documents over. Thank you again for all the help. We appreciate it very much. So,
oh my goodness, this is why we do what we do.
Oh my gosh,
so, yeah. David, you're a legend, bro. Thank you for the kind words.
It went well.
It went well.
Another, I mean, not to pat our own back, but most of our projects go pretty dang well. Most of them launch pretty strong.
Yeah, word has gotten around that Crown can make it happen.
Yeah.
And it's because we can make it happen.
We do it so often in so many different ways.
Yep.
So many varieties of buildings and launches and whatever.
Yep.
That's kind of what we're sharing with the podcast, is just the plethora of projects and differences between them.
Yeah.
So we've seen it all, and we're pretty dang good at it.
Heck yeah. If you are looking for an AVL integrator, I know of one, and I'm sure they'd be available. Their name is Crown Design Group. So yeah, give us a call if you need something. We do it all: design, sales, install, service. You can visit us at www.crowndesigngroup.org. ORG people, not .com. We couldn't get it. The freaking people are holding out on us.
We're still holding out. It's been over 10 years.
They want 10 grand. What is this?
Too much money. Stupid.
Unbelievable.
Not worth it.
Unbelievable. Well, yeah, crowndesigngroup.org. Get a hold of us. We'd love to work with you. If you have a big project, if you're in, we're in Bradenton, Florida. We're all over Florida constantly, all over the place. But we're out of state too. We're anywhere. So give us a call if you need something. Also, we have Crown Care. You can go to
help.
www.crowncare.help. And anyone can go on this. If you're having an issue with a console, if your Dante network's down, if you're having issues with lighting software, if you can't figure it out, even on a Sunday morning, Crown Care is help when you need it most. So you can go on to www.crowncare.help at any time, and you can get emergency support. Within a half hour, we're calling you back, and we are helping you fix. Or you can schedule a troubleshoot session
during the week if you want.
Yeah. And then for you crazies out there, we also have a subscription where we essentially put in equipment that will monitor your critical AVL network 24/7. So we get them all the time. Luke gets them all the time. A little ping, and I'll say, hey, your network's down. And we're on it, Johnny on the spot. And we will jump on your network and essentially fix it for you right there and then before you even know about it, or let you know, hey, dude, your whole thing's down. Someone's going mental on your system. I don't know. Typically, it's like the power went out.
Right.
Or someone unplugged something, and we see a bunch of stuff go down, and we go, hey, dude, just to let you know, this ain't on.
Hey, it's good to know beforehand, though, instead of walking in before service and being like, what the heck, why is my network down?
The life of a technical director at a church. Show up Sunday morning, big smile on your face, coffee in your hand, and then nothing works. And now what? Crown Care is here to help. Anything else, Ben?
The podcast is on Spotify now. I mean, that's breaking news.
Oh my goodness.
Now you can listen to us in the comfort of your car. If you're on a very, very boring, long road trip, we can make it less boring.
I like that.
So much easier to listen to.
Yep.
Coming to iTunes as well, or Apple Podcast, whatever the thing is.
Yep.
But yeah.
So yeah, it's a small climb of taking over the world, and we're doing it. So
we're the only AVL integration podcast out there, from what we understand, because we looked. It's pretty surprising, but
I know it's weird.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I wonder why. Maybe this isn't a good thing, a good idea.
Is it terrible? Is it terrible?
Like and subscribe. Internet, tell us what you think. Love y'all.
Peace out.